we're in part 2 of my eyeshadow declutter. If you haven't seen the first one, definitely check that out. I include some important information in the beginning, so yeah, let's get into part 2. This one is a little bit of mix. We have some Alien Cosmetics, we have Sugar Drizzle, we have, I think Unearthly is the one that's now Alien Cosmetics. They're the same. We actually have a Sydney Grace. So we did Sydney Grace in the last one, but I missed one. So this is the Where the Wild Things Grow palette. It's beautiful. I love Sydney Grace, so we're keeping that one. Sugar Drizzle. Actually, let's do Alien Cosmetics first. So are they alien or are they unearthly now? I don't know. I don't particularly love them. I just don't really like how they interact with people online. They're a little bit rude. So I kind of am not really buying from them right now, but I do have some of their palettes. I have the All I Ever Wanted palette, which has quite a few beautiful shimmers in it. So we will be keeping this one. I also have the Fairy Frolic palette, which looks like this one, which I don't love as much. So I will be decluttering this one. I just really don't like the shimmers on it at all. They're they're just not great. So we're going to declutter this one. Next up, let's get into Sugar Drizzle. I have quite a few from them. I love the themes that they do. So this is the What If I Fall? Oh, but my darling, what if you fly? Or is it the Warrior palette? I'm not sure the name, but it's gorgeous regardless. And yeah, I really do like Sugar Drizzle's formula, so we will be keeping this one. We have the Pizza Kitty palette. Even if I didn't like it, I would keep it because it's a pizza kitty. It's so cute. So we will be keeping this one. What is this? This has no name. This has no name on it, Sugar Drizzle. So I'm not entirely sure what this palette is called, but Sugar Cookie is such a pretty green. And Sugar Me Sweet, also excellent. This must be the Sugar palette. They're all named Sugar. Must be. But we're keeping this one. We have the Frosty Flamingo, which I'm not gonna lie, I have not used yet. It is in my collection. It is purple, so you know I'll get some use out of it. I'm going to get rid of this stuff, but I haven't used it yet. I want to because it is beautiful, so I'm gonna pull this one out more so I can really use it. Then we have the, I don't remember what this one is called, Butterfly palette, something like that. It's also another beautiful palette. These greens, fantastic. So we're keeping that one. And then we have the MILF, Man I Love Frogs. I actually have an entire video dedicated to this palette. It's fantastic. Hop Along is such a beautiful duochrome. It's not going to pick up in the camera, but just for that one alone, I would keep the palette. It's great. So keeping these, decluttering this one. Okay, next we have some Be Perfect, Sample Beauty, Moira, a little bit of a mix in this pile. So let's take a look at the Be Perfect ones. We have the Rain palette, which is the collab they did with Makeup by Alina, which I haven't really gotten a whole lot of use out of. And I don't love that there are 4 pressed glitters in here that I'm never going to touch. But I do want to keep it and I do want to use it more. I got it when it was on sale and it just kind of got buried in my collection, but I am going to keep this one. We have the Be Perfect Manifest Dream Big. This is one of my favorite palettes from them. I love that they have so many different formulas in one palette. Like this one is super creamy. It's just really pretty. And yeah, I like this palette quite a bit. Let's do all the Be Perfects. We have the Carnival 3, which I'm going to be honest, I don't really reach for. It's very pretty and I do really like it, but I don't think it's anything that's super unique in my collection. I'm trying to think. Now, Be Perfect is an English brand from England. So I'm in the US. It takes a little while to get these. So that's why I'm a little reluctant to get rid of them. I think I want to use this in a use it or lose it and decide then if I want to keep it. But we're going to hold on to it for now. We have the Be Perfect Carnival, the Antidote palette, which is their more neutral palette, which is an awesome, more neutral palette. I don't love all the colors. There's a few in here that I've discovered that don't quite look the same on your eyes as they do in the pans. But there's only a few and overall it's great. The mattes are really good, so we're going to keep this one. Let's do, I think I only have a couple from Sample Beauty. We have the Paradigm Shift, which looks like this, which lasted through my last declutter and then I have not used. Same with the equalizer. I just don't reach for them. I don't know why, but they look beautiful. So again, these are out of England, so I'm going to keep them for now and use them before I decide to get rid of them. We have some from Moira. I ended up decluttering a bunch in my declutter last year because I was kind of like, gotta catch them all, and then I realized, no, I don't need every single palette from them. But we have the Kiwi Be Friends, which is just a very unique color story, and I really, really like. So we are going to continue to keep this one. We have Electric Nights, which is their huge palette. I absolutely love the highlighters and the bronzers in this palette. And I really just like that it's like a complete face palette. So keeping that one. Sweet Paradise, same thing. I love that it's a complete palette. I love how these colors perform. And I really like that they did some really cool, unique colored highlighters here. This one has like a pink shift to it. Where are you? There you are. So I don't know if that's going to pick up too well on camera. It's really hard to catch like duochromes and multichromes on camera, but it's just very, very pretty. So we're going to be keeping that one. Then we have the You I Desire palette. Again, these all lasted through my last declutter because they're beautiful. Moira has a fantastic formula, so we're going to continue to hold on to all these. We have another random pile of palettes here that are kind of one-offs or two-offs in some cases. So let's take a look at these and decide what we want to do with them. Let's start with Makeup Geek. Makeup Geek closed last year, which was really sad. This is the Fall Harvest palette. It's just a great neutral palette that I clearly don't reach for very often because I have so many neutrals, but because Makeup Geek is no more, I am going to hold on to this one. We have the MAC Art Library. This is in its designer palette. I don't have very many MAC eyeshadow palettes, so I am going to hold on to this one. It's okay. It's okay. It's very pretty. Tati Beauty. Oh my gosh, Tati Beauty. I love this palette. It's such a good palette. You either loved it or you hated it. Keeping it forever. I loved it. I love it. So we're keeping it. We have this one from Fenty Beauty. This is the Kilowatt Foil. It lasted through my last declutter with the intention that I was going to use it more. I did not. So we will be decluttering this one. And we have the Jurassic Park and Profusion collab. This one also has its own video dedicated to it. I loved this, but it's all pressed glitters. I thought it was highlighters. It is not. It is just a bunch of like cool looking pressed glitters. Now, I did not love this. I know there's a lot of great drugstore formulas out there. This one was not my favorite, so I am going to declutter this one, even though it is fun. We have a couple from Rare Beauty. We have the Confident Energy palette, which looks like this. And then we have this guy, which is the True to Myself palette. I'm going to declutter this one. This shadows worked fine, but there's a huge pressed glitter in the middle. It was a choice to make. I'm not sure. I would say it was a great choice, but I'm going to declutter this one. You know, Rare Beauty, their face products are phenomenal, but I don't really love their eyeshadows. Even though this one's great, I just don't think the color story is my favorite. But I am going to keep this one. I'm going to try to use this one more because, again, like the formula is nice, but I don't know. Okay, Wayne Goss, we have the Luxury Eye Palette in Tourmaline. I'm not really a fan. This is another brand where it's just the eyeshadow is not really my jam. This one, everything comes out a lot lighter than it looks in the pan, which I don't love. I just like things that are very pigmented. So, I mean, it's great if you want a more natural, well, not natural, but a lighter look with darker colors, I guess, if that makes sense. But I am going to declutter this one. I just don't reach for it. We have the Ofra Samantha March Life's a Draft palette. I don't think I've ever touched this one. No, it looks like I have used a couple. Okay, it's a pretty color story. Ofra's eyeshadow formula is not my favorite. They do have great highlighters, which they have a blush, a highlighter, and a bronzer in here, which is awesome. But I forgot that I had this one. So I think that's a sign to declutter it. Actually, let me look. Let's see. That's pretty. we'll give it a chance. We'll give it a chance. That was really pretty. It's got one chance. Hopefully I use it before the next declutter. We have the Hip Dot Monopoly palette. No, it was, no. Okay, this is what I meant when I said the SpongeBob formula was great. Everything else was garbage. It's garbage, so it's gonna get decluttered. Okay, next up we have my Kaleidos and my Lethal Cosmetics collections. These are some of my favorite indie brands, so I really don't see myself getting rid of any of these, but let's go through them. I have a bunch of palettes that have no name from Lethal. I think some of these have names, but I couldn't tell you what they are. This one does. This was in collaboration with Jolena, who I am not familiar with. I believe she's a German influencer, but it's a beautiful palette, so we're keeping it. And this one is pretty new. This is the One Up palette. I have a video dedicated to this palette and reviewing it, and these are awesome shadows. This was fun to play with. Again, more that either I made myself or had a name and it is lost to time. But I clearly have a lot of love for Lethal and their shadows. So if you couldn't tell, this one is newer. This one I made myself. Most of these are Lethal Cosmetics multi-chromes. This was a very expensive palette to make. So I think I do want to bring this one out and put this to the side so I can get more use out of this one. So it doesn't get buried. But yeah, as you can see, I have quite a few. I think at some point I will need to go through all my singles of Lethal, which I consider, even though they're in a palette, to be singles, because the palette has no name. But I think I need to go through and kind of slim that down because I have quite a few. Okay, Kaleidos. Again, same situation. I'm probably not going to get rid of any of these. We have the Escape Pod, which looks like this, which is a super fun palette. We have Club Nebula, which is the collab they did with Angelica Nyqvist, which is not my favorite. I feel like people are going to yell at me. It wasn't my favorite. I want to keep using it though, because people love it and I feel like I'm missing something, and I just feel like I haven't given it a fair chance. So I think I might need to bring this one out for a use it or lose it, because I don't love it, but I want to know if it's me. It might just be my personal taste. But yeah, we're gonna keep it for now. And then we have a bunch of these little ones. Here's the Futurism 3 Astro Pink. Some of these I know aren't available anymore. We have the Futurism 1 Sci-Fi Green. So pretty. The Futurism 4 VR Neon. The Futurism 7 Sashimi City. This one I definitely didn't need. It's just pretty neutral, but it is pretty. Futurism 5 Electric Turquoise. This one's awesome. So much fun. And then we have the Futurism 2 Cyber Bronze, which is fantastic. And yeah, we will be keeping all of those. I changed my mind on this one. I said I was going to keep it and use it, but I don't think I will. So I'm going to actually declutter this one from Rare Beauty. Okay, we have another random pile here. So let's go through these. This is from Undone Beauty. This is the Curator Eye Palette. This one is interesting. I want to do a face of Undone Beauty. You can use this wet or dry. I need to play around with it more, but I will say the shimmers are actually quite stunning. So this is a drugstore palette. I do want to use this one more, so we're going to keep this. We have this one from Smashbox, the Cover Shop Major Metals Eye Palette. This one is just awesome. These perform so friggin' well. Like, Smashbox needs to come out with more like this, because this is an awesome palette. It's old, it's super old, but we're going to keep it. Winky Lux, we have the Fruity Kitten palette. It's so cute. This is also actually a drugstore palette, but I feel like it's a little expensive for drugstore. But yeah, it's got cats on it, so we're keeping it. Baby Bat Beauty, we have the Luna palette. I haven't used this one in so long. It's so pretty, and their formula is great, and it's fun, but I think it's time. I just haven't pulled it out in a while, so I'm going to declutter that one. We have a couple quads from Makeup Geek. I think these are just Oh, this is Orange Crush. I have not used it. I'm going to declutter this one. But I'm going to declutter this one too. I just don't think I'm going to reach for them. They're little quads that are going to get lost. Stila, I have the Eyes Are the Window Shadow Palette in Body. One of my first palettes that I fell in love with, that I dug some pans in, was a Stila palette like this. I'm going to keep this one. It's got a little bit of nostalgia there. We have the NARS Afterglow Eyeshadow Palette. It looks like this. This one, I don't remember. Use it or lose it. That's where you're going to see this one next. So we're going to keep it for now. Next, I have from Nomad Cosmetics, the Ninhydrin one. This is going to be another controversial opinion. Didn't love this palette. Again, it's just, I like shadows that are super pigmented, and I feel like quite a few of these work as toppers, but not independently of that. And I don't really love it. I want these colors on my eyes. They just don't look like that on my eyes. So I'm going to declutter this one. The Serenity palette, this by Cosmic Brushes, which is another UK brand. This is so good. This is a fantastic palette. And it was like $20, $24. I don't know. It was a great price. So we're keeping this one. I have two from Revolution Beauty. I have the Maxi Reloaded palette, which is more neutrals, and then I have the Earth palette. At Revolution Beauty is normally garbage. It's pretty terrible. This is the exception. These palettes are so good. They're so pigmented. It's a great formula. I don't think I need both, but I'm looking at them and some of the shadows are calling to me. I think I'm going to keep both for now. Again, I don't have a whole lot of drugstore palettes, so I want to keep the ones that I like. And we have the Lime Crime Venus XL2, which is just one of my favorite color stories. It's this color Ivy. Yes, I will swatch it for you. Looks like this. It's gorgeous. It's a great color. It's just a pretty palette and I enjoy it. So I'm going to be keeping that one as well. Nomad. Are we going to get rid of any Nomad? I don't know. I love Nomad's formula. It's absolutely fantastic. But let's go through them. Let's take a look. We have the Nomad Antilles, which is a great colorful palette. So pretty. Keeping. We have the Nomad, what is this? Tokyo, I believe. Tokyo one. I want to keep it just for these because these are so good. Like, look how pretty that is. I don't think I need to though. I just haven't pulled it out in a while. It can go to a better home. Someone will love you. Okay, I'm going to declutter it. We have the Orient Express palette. This is one of my favorite palettes from them. It is a fantastic palette, and I just love it. I love all of it. We have the Nomad Iceland Fire and Ice. This is one of the few palettes that I did not like from them. I couldn't really get it to work for me. I don't love blues, I think is part of the problem. So the formula was great, but I just couldn't get a look that I really loved. So I'm going to declutter this one. We have the Cartagena Magica. I believe I have a video dedicated to this one, I'm pretty sure. This is a great palette. It's very pretty. It's very warm. Love it. We have the Nomad Paradise Islands palette. Fantastic. This color story. Maybe I need to make a video dedicated to this one because it's so pretty. It's great. I brought this one when I was traveling. I think I brought it to Hawaii and it was really nice. We have the Nomad Bosque Nabosa de Monteverde. Is this the one I have a video on? This is the one I have video on. Thank you. Ooh, and it's great. It's so beautiful. Love the bright colors. Their shimmers are just so pretty. So keeping. And then we have the Nomad Haunted Europe, which made my favorite eyeshadows for fall list. And it's great. And it's so cool. Look at that. I love it. Okay, so we're keeping all these. Ooh. And we are decluttering these too. Pat McGrath. I have far too many Pat McGrath palettes, especially since I feel like they are overrated. Look, I said it and I mean it. So let's go through them. Let's see if we want to keep any, if we're willing to get rid of any. It's hard to get rid of any when they are this price point, but let's start off with something easy. I have the two Eye Ecstasy palettes. This is Subversive and this is Sublime. So this is Subversive and this is Sublime. And every time I open them, I'm like, oh, you're so pretty. And I never reach for them. She did, you know, she came out with these and they were only $25, so super affordable, but they just get lost in my collection. So I'm going to declutter these two finally. Now let's see if I can figure out the names in these. Some of them have names, some of them don't, and I've taken them out of their boxes. I've saved some of the boxes, but not all of them, because I don't use it when it's in the box. So we're just going to open them and take a look. We have this Mothership palette, which is actually really pretty. I do like the grungy tones, so this one is staying. We have, this one is the Divine Rose palette. This one is also really pretty. I don't reach for this one very often, but I do like that it's in a pink package. We have another Mothership. I really wish the names were on here, but they're not. Again, I really like this color story. This one's really pretty. Do I think any of these are worth $125? I do not. I do not. Oh, this is the Divine Rose 2 palette. This one, again, I don't feel like any of these colors justify the $125 price tag. Granted, I got all of these on sale. I would never pay the full price for them, but we're keeping them. And then we have this one, which I think is the one that I don't like very much. But let's swatch the green. It's really up to the green, right? Oh yeah, that's sad. Okay, I'm actually gonna declutter this one. Again, I don't know the name of it, but this one, I'm getting rid of a Mothership, guys. It's time. I have the two collabs I did with Bridgerton. This is the Diamond of the First Water. And this one is Belle the Ball. And I do like these. These ones are pretty good. Are they worth $65? No, but they're good. This one, on the other hand, is my all-time favorite Pat McGrath palette. This is just a bunch of nudes. This is the Platinum Bronze Mothership Subliminal. And it is one of my favorite palettes from her. I got it on super sale, and these colors are just gorgeous. So I really like this one. This one I can actually say I think the formula is worth it. Then I have two of her holiday palettes. This is the Celestial Odyssey and Celestial Divinity. Here's Divinity, and here is Odyssey. Both pretty. These ones were actually more affordable. I like that she does that during the holidays. And we're going to hold on to these. Okay, next let's take a look at my Glamlight palettes. Now, I used one not too long ago and I had an eye reaction. I got like super itchy. Now I was wearing it for quite a while, so I don't know if it was just I had it on for too long. I don't know what happened, but it was very strange. But I don't really reach for my Glamlight very often anymore. So let's take a look at what I have. This one is the Ice Cream Dream palette. Ooh, okay, these are gonna fall. And it looks like this. It's very pretty, but I am actually gonna declutter this one because I just don't reach it. They're very big and bulky, and I tend to put them out in my garage and then forget that I have them. This is the Glamlight Cake palette. Again, another really pretty one. I don't reach for it. I don't reach for it. I have so many rainbow palettes. I don't really reach for these, so I'm gonna declutter these. I have the, what is this one called? The Artist palette, something like that. So it was the mini palette of this that I have that made my eyes freak out. So this one, I almost want to try out, but I'm also scared. I really do like their shimmer formula, but I just really, if I'm allergic to it, I just don't want to use it. But look how pigmented they are. Super pretty. Very pretty formula. I think I'm going to declutter it. I just think it's maybe, hang on. Let's keep the cake palette. It's easier to store. I'm going to keep that, but I am going to get rid of this one. It's just very, very awkward. We have two of the little donut guys. We have, are they both Glam Donut? Glam Donut? Chocolate? Okay, this is Glam Donut. I do really love the colors in here, so I'm going to be keeping this one. Chocolate Donut, I don't reach for, again, so I'm going to declutter this one. And then I found the Michaela palette at TJ Maxx, and I have not tried it. I've not used it, but I got for steal, and I do love the glitter. I do love their packaging. They do fantastic packaging. Again, like, I feel like a lot of their rainbow palettes just kind of look the same. So I'm going to, I do want to try this one out. I think I'm going to hang on to this one. I'm going to hang on to this one. I don't think I need the cake palette. I'm going back to decluttering that one. We're decluttering that one. I'm going to keep the Michaela one and the pretty donut one and declutter the rest of my Glamlight. Okay, we have another random pile. Like, these are definitely kind of my more collector-like palettes. So we have the Funko Pop and Disney one, and it looks like this. And again, I don't use this one at all, but I do have a lot of love in my heart for Disney, so we're gonna keep this one. Most of these you'll never see on camera though, because I don't use them. The Sephora and Museum of Ice Cream collab is so cute. Look, it's a little brush. Again, I don't use it, but I just adore it, so I keep it. Storybook Cosmetics, the Starry Night palette. I'm actually going to declutter this one. This company is kind of shady, to be honest. I don't know if they're even still in business. They had a great concept, I thought, and they had a really good formula, and they just were kind of shady about everything. There's a ton of videos out there if you're interested in hearing the story about Storybook Cosmetics. But yeah, I think I'm going to declutter this one. I didn't really like the color story for this one, so I feel okay letting it go. We have the Urban Decay Game of Thrones palette. Again, this one is more sentimental. I just love the packaging. I do love Game of Thrones. The books, I actually have not watched the show, but I really love the books. George R.R. Martin's never going to finish writing that series, and we just need to accept that. But it's just cool packaging, right? The highlighters that came with this collection are fantastic. I have those, and I love those. Again, I'm gonna keep it. This is a collection from Bitter Lace Beauty. It's the Book of Shadows. This, I think I custom made, so all these eyeshadows are ones that I picked out for myself. I don't use these. I just kind of collected them. They're very pretty, but I don't want to ruin the embossing, so obviously we're keeping that. Oh, I Heart Revolution, the Revo Pooches. I wanted to keep this one because the packaging was so cute, but it's been a year since my last declutter, and I think I'm ready to say goodbye, even if the packaging is adorable. I have the Lorac Pirates of the Caribbean Dead Men Tell No Tales palette. This is another one that I just keep because it's a collector's item and I collect, but I don't use it. It's really old. I don't know if I'd feel like super comfortable using it at this point, but I am going to continue to hold on to it. Oh, I don't know how this got in here. This is in the wrong pile, but this is the Colored Rain Vivid Pigment and Shadows palette. This I heard such good things about, and I just keep forgetting that I have it. So it is all matte, and you know how I feel about all matte. I just don't love all matte palettes. So do I think I'm going to reach for this one? I don't know. I'm going to try. I'm going to keep it for now. Possibly I'm not going to keep it forever, but we'll see. And then I have the Urban Decay Alice Through the Looking Glass palette. That is just really, really pretty. I definitely picked this one up on, I think it was on Mercari, because I really wanted it in my life, and I got it for a good deal. You can basically find any palette, even if it's not made anymore. It's just pretty packaging, and I love Alice in Wonderland, so we're keeping this one. I think I'm ready to say goodbye to some of my BH Cosmetics. I kind of collected all of them, and I still love them, but I don't know if I need all of them anymore. BH Cosmetics got bought out by Revolution or Revolution Beauty, and they're not the best. So it'll be interesting to see what happens, but let's take a look at what I have and maybe kind of get rid of some of them. Like, some of these palettes are fantastic. I do love their formula. I just don't think I need this many. So let's take a look. But this is the Naughty List palette. It's a great palette. This came out a few years ago for the holidays, but I just don't reach for it. It's actually really good, but I am going to declutter it. Let's see. I have so many. We have the Mrs. Claus palette that came out, I think, at the same time as that Naughty palette. And this is a little easier to manage. I like their tiny pans, but I don't think it's unique. So we're going to say goodbye to that one too. We have the Drop Dead Gorgeous Little Bit Psycho palette. I don't reach for it, so we're going to say goodbye. Oh, I'm so proud of myself. The Digital Future palette is actually one of my favorites from them. It is so good. So I'm going to keep this one because I like it. I need to pull that one out more. We have a bunch from this Poison Shock, I think it was the collection name. Yeah. And these were fantastic. So I might keep all of these, but let's look. This is the Ghost Pepper palette. It's the pink one. This one, do I want to keep this whole collection? Okay, this is Ghost Pepper. Let's take a look. Venom, which is fantastic. This is one of my favorite palettes from them. We have Nightshade. Yes, it's very pretty. Scorpion Sting, which is more orange. Absinthe is the green one. And these just are so good. I loved this collection. I'm going to keep it because I like it. So we're going to keep that collection. Let's see. Oh, okay. Actually, this went with the Naughty palette. This is the nice palette. And it's great. But again, I don't need it. I don't need this many. So we're going to get rid of that one. Let's go through the Sweet Shop collection. I have quite a few of those. So we have the Pistachio collection, or the Pistachio palette. Sugar Cone. Oh, it's so good. These are really good. Orange Sherbet. Oh, Orange Sorbet. I think I'm actually going to get rid of this one because I haven't used it. So we're gonna get rid of that one. Cotton Candy one is the pinky purple one. We are keeping these three. We're only getting rid of Orange Sherbet because I really like the quality. Oh, I missed this one. This is the Sub-Zero one from the Poison Shock. And it's really good. So, keeping it. Okay. We've still got quite a few. They have the cutest travel collection. They do a palette based on all these different locations. So we have Summer in Saint-Tropez. I just put my finger all over it. It's awesome. Really pretty. Love in London is a great neutral palette. Beautiful in Barcelona. Another more neutral palette, but very pretty. This is Passion in Paris. I haven't even used this one, but I want to. Trendy in Tokyo. I am going to get rid of this one because I just don't use this one. And it is another rainbow palette. Hanging in Hawaii is a really good neutral palette. I just don't reach for this one. I am going to actually get rid of this one as well. But I will be keeping all of these. Then we have the Blueberry Muffin palette, which is an awesome palette, even though there's a lot of blues. And you know how I feel about blues. We have the Avocado Toast. Unpopular opinion, I hate avocados. I live in California and I hate avocados, but I love this palette. We have this Mimosa palette that I have never used, so we're going to declutter the Mimosa palette. We're going to keep these two. We have the Lit List. This one's actually really good. This is a huge one. It's a holiday one, but I do like this color story. It's a little more unique, a little less neutral. So I'm going to keep this large palette. Last, I'm going to go over my Natasha Denona palettes. And this is another brand that I'm not going to be getting rid of anything because I am doing a ranking video on these, so I'm not going to go into too much detail. I just want to kind of show you what I have in my collection. We have the Love palette, which I need to use more to figure out if I like it, because I don't know if I do. We have the Circo Loco palette, the Safari palette. I'm going to keep this until I do my ranking video. But after that, I'm probably going to get rid of that one because I don't like that one. Trio Chrome is a beautiful palette. The Lila or Lila, I got this one on sale, which was actually very exciting. We have my Very Dirty Gold palette. I think this was like the first palette I got from Natasha Denona quite a few years ago. We have the Metropolis palette, which is one of my favorite palettes. It's so good. We have the, which one is this? The Green Brown palette. We have the, what is Purple Blue, I think? Not the most original names. The Retro palette. The Sunrise palette. The Bronze palette. And the Tropic palette. So we also have the My Big Dream, the newer one of the newer ones from her that is also stuck at my mom's house. It's stuck there. I will get it back at some point, but I don't have it with me. But those are my Natasha Denonas. I love them all. They are beautiful. And yes, we are keeping all of these. So let's go through and count how many we are getting rid of. So we're getting rid of 31 in this round. Now let's count up how many we actually got rid of in the first round, because I have not done that yet. Whew, 35. So I ended up decluttering 35 in my part 1. So total, we have 67 eyeshadow palettes that I'm decluttering. I don't want to count how many I actually am keeping because it is more than that number. So it's in the hundreds, which is a lot of palettes. But I think we did really well in this declutter. And I'm happy with the ones that I'm keeping, and I'm happy to be giving these a better home. Again, if you're interested in purchasing any of these, I will be listing them on my Mercari slowly, so check back. But if you're interested, I will have the link for my Mercari down below. I hope you enjoyed this video. I would really appreciate it if you liked and subscribed. That would mean a lot to me. And yeah, I will see you all in the next video. Bye!